All right, well, welcome again, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Miss Jen. Before we really get started, I just want to stop for a minute and pray. So would you guys pray with me? God, you are so good, and I thank you for your faithfulness to us. Every morning, your mercies are new. Every day, you are so, so good. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity that you have given us to share your love with kids. And so, God, as we dive into this meeting, I ask that you would be with us, that you would be glorified, and that you would help us to prepare so that we can share the good news about Jesus with all the kids that you send us. And I pray this in Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, I just want to talk a little bit about the why of Summer Blast. Some of you were here today. Actually, a lot of you were here today helping us prep. That's a massive amount of work. Thank you so much. I actually see a lot of faces who were here this morning, and y'all came back tonight. So thank you so, so much. But why do we do Summer Blast? Because it's so much work. It requires so many volunteers. Well, the reason behind an event like Summer Blast starts with Jesus' Great Commission in Matthew 28. Jesus says, "Go and make disciples of all nations." And so children are included in that. And so we want to reach out to our own kids and to our community and to your family and friends. And we want to share the love of Jesus with them. So one of the many hats that I wear at Sanctuary Church is that I am a Rooted facilitator. I help run our Rooted program. And in doing that, I get to hear a lot of stories. I get to hear a lot of your stories. And I was amazed by how many people who went to church as children. Sometimes their parents didn't take them. They went with a neighbor. They went with their friend. They went with their aunt. They went with their grandparent. And that laid out the foundation for their faith. That was the seed. That's where so many people say, that's where my relationship with God started. Even if they walk away from the Lord or don't really learn what following him looks like until they're in their teen years or an adult, they still credit that early exposure with, that's when my relationship with God began. And so that's why we do an event like Summer Blast, because we want as many people as possible to know the love and joy and hope and peace that we found in Jesus. And that often starts with children. So, we want kids to know that following God isn't boring. And that's why we dial up the fun to 100 plus at Summer Blast, because following God isn't boring and church shouldn't be either. And so we want to make this an incredible 3 nights where they get to experience the love of God in a fun and relevant way for them. So that's the why behind Summer Blast. So I would like to give you a little overview of what Summer Blast is gonna be. But before we do that, I just want to show you a video from last year's Summer Blast, the highlight video. So Eric's gonna get that going for us.
I turn up the music loud, dance like nobody's watching. We got a reason to cheer. Let's go. 'Cause Jesus, your love is for everyone. We're gonna shine your light today. So come on, clap your hands and everybody dance. The party is popping, nobody's stopping. We're gonna do it right and have a good time. All for you, Jesus, 'cause you're always with us. It's time to start the party. It's time to start the party. All right.
It's time to celebrate. It's time to get it started. The party's happening here. Yeah. Turn up the music loud. Dance like nobody's watching. We've got a reason to cheer.
All right, so this year's theme is Live It Out. And how amazing is that? Because we are going to teach kids to live and love like Jesus. And so this year, we are going to do so many fun things. we're so excited that God has blessed us with this campus because it means that we get to spread our Summer Blast wings and expand our program and do things that we haven't been able to offer in years. We're bringing back Water Wednesday, all kinds of cool stuff. But what I want to do now is give you all an overview of what to expect. And I know a lot of you are Summer Blast veterans. Some of you have been doing it as long as I've been doing it at Sanctuary. But the program does look a little bit different this year because we are in a different facility. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over what the night is going to look like briefly. So kids are going to come at 6 o'clock. Actually, let me back up a little bit. You guys are going to get here between 5 and 5:30. I know that that's early. We know that that's hard for you to get dinner. So one of the things that we're going to do is you're going to get here between 5 and 5:30. Dinner will be served in our currently being renovated kitchen. It's not going to be fancy, but it will be, pizza or tacos or I don't know. Jillian's planning that out for us. So dinner will be served up until 5:30. So you can come and grab that. At 5:45, we're going to go into our group huddles. So preschool team, you'll meet in the preschool room. Elementary team, you'll meet here with Pastor Jim. Registration, you'll meet together in the foyer. Security, you guys are going to be doing your thing the whole time because that's what you do. But we're going to do that. We're going to have our team huddles. And then at 6 o'clock, we are going to open up the doors, and kids are going to come in, and we are going to register them. So when they register, they're going to come through here. We're going to give them some stuff. They're going to get like name tags and all kinds of stuff. If you're on the registration team, you have received an email about that. But one thing that I really want to make sure that we all are aware of, if you are a small group leader, if you are an assistant small group leader, you, not just registration, you'll need to know what this is. So when we check kids in, safety is a really high priority for us. So we are going to give parents a parent passport. You know those stickers that we print out on Sundays? So we are going to print out a sticker for each child, and they're going to go on the front and back of this lovely card, and it will have their identification number, and it will have their allergies listed. Now, those kids are also going to get a sticker tag. Elementary students are going to stick it on the back of their name tags, their lanyards. Preschoolers, they tend to choke themselves when you give them lanyards. We don't do that for preschoolers. We're just going to slap it on them. They're going to wear that sticker. And so when parents come to pick up their child, they're going to come to your small group. More about where that's going to be in a minute. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the number on the kid's sticker, and then you're going to look at the number on your little passport. You're going to make sure it matches. Now, if they have this passport, they can pick up the child. If they can have a picture of this passport, as long as you can read it and clearly identify that the numbers match, they can pick up the child. If they do not have the passport or a photo of it, they need to meet with me or with Jim, and we will go through some added security measures, make sure they are who they say they are. We can call the phone number listed to make sure, yes, it is okay for you to pick up this child. Because we don't want to give the wrong kid to the wrong person. So just want to make sure everyone is aware of that because that's a really, really high priority. All right, so once kids are checked in, they've got their stickers, they've got their lanyards, all that stuff. Elementary students are going to come in here, and they're going to sit in their small groups. You will have, there's going to be chairs in here, but there's not going to be this many chairs because we need room to move and to run and to have fun. And so you guys are going to have small group leaders. You're going to have a sign that you will hold up that will tell you what group you have. You have been assigned as a small group leader at this point, but we don't know what grade you're doing or anything like that because we still have kids who are registering, so we haven't had a chance to break them into groups yet. But you will have a sign, you will hold it up, and that kid will come to you, and you will make them feel welcome. You are going to have a clipboard with a roster on it. You are going to highlight the name of the kids who come in your group because we need to make sure that we know who we have. And then again, when they get checked out in the evening, you're going to put a little check to mark that they also have been picked up. So you're going to have all the kids in here. We're going to have a lot of fun and excitement for the elementary students. They're going to be in here. There's going to be beach balls bouncing. We're going to have stage games. We're all going to learn. There's going to be a dance that they're going to have the opportunity to participate in. Now, the preschoolers are not going to start out in here because trying to herd preschoolers in here for, 25 minutes is a nightmare. It's like herding cats, and I don't want you to do that, and I don't want to do that either. So preschoolers are going to go down the hall, and they're going to check into the last door on the right, which is my classroom. And preschool small group leaders will go there when our team huddles are done. That's where you're going to meet and be with your group. Preschoolers, we don't break them up by age, and they don't have grades yet, so they're broken up by color teams. So they're going to have a little wristband on them. So you might be a blue team leader or a yellow team leader or a red team leader. It'll just depend. So yours are going to start in there. There's games and activities that are age appropriate for that. And about 5 minutes before the program starts, the preschoolers are going to come out here. We're going to have color taped squares for them to sit on. They're going to sit on the floor because when they stand up in front of those chairs, they can't see the stage because they're so little. And then our program is going to start. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We've got some dancing. We've got some singing. We've got some worship. It's going to be amazing. After we have done that, we're going to say goodbye to the preschoolers. Preschoolers are going to go back. They're going to have their time, and we'll go into more details about what that looks like, and they're going to move into their rotations. After the preschoolers leave, Pastor Jim is going to do like the elementary teaching time in here, and after he's done with that, then elementary kids are going to go do their rotations. The kids are going to rotate through craft. So for elementary, they rotate through craft and games, and then they'll come back in here for their small group time. And you guys will, if you're an elementary leader, you will receive a booklet. Pastor Jim will get that to you later. Preschoolers, after your rotations, you guys have a few more rotations. We'll go into that. After you've done your rotations, you will come in here to do your small group time. Your small group time is hopefully going to last 5 to 7 minutes. Their attention spans are teeny tiny, just like they're teeny tiny. And that is also when we will be serving snack during small group. So after small group and snack, then this is something new that we're adding this year. We're going to have a closing skit that goes with the theme of the day. It's just short, a few minutes. And then we're going to do our final song. And then parents are going to come in, and they are going to check their kids out. They are going to come in here. They are going to come to you. And this is when you're going to pull out. They're going to hand you your passport. You're going to do your examining, wear your glasses if you need to. We'll turn the lights on to make sure you can see it real clearly. I just noticed, I'm not quite there for glasses yet, but sometimes when I'm tired, I'm kind of starting to do this. So, I know how that goes. And then our kids get picked up, and when all the kids are checked out for the night and you have checkmarked everything, you are good to go. Oh, one thing, you're going to take their lanyards, their name tags, before they leave. Because if they take them home, guess what's not coming back tomorrow, the next night? Yep, those lanyards, those name tags will not be back. So make sure that you grab those before they go. So that is a basic overview of the program. Now, for those of you who are here, who are doing security, I want to go over what your jobs will be briefly. We're going to need people standing at the door here. We're going to need people standing at the door at the MPR. We're going to need people just patrolling the campus. And then when we have games rotations, both preschool and elementary will be having game rotations on the lawn. We're going to have a separate area fenced off for preschool. I would like at least 4 security guards, 1 on each corner section, just out there watching. Preschoolers, elementary kids, they are so fast. And they see a butterfly, they're gone. They think they see their mom's car, they're gone. The ball goes off, off they go. So your job is like interception. You're going to grab them. You're going to bring them back to safety. So that's just a real brief overview of of what you can expect for safety. But also, as small group leaders, if you have an issue, if you're having a challenge, you can let a security guard know, and then they can come and they can find me, and I can come and help you with whatever that is, or Jim if it's an elementary issue. All right, so that is just a brief overview of what the night is going to be. I hope it sounds like a whole lot of fun. To me, it sounds amazing. I think it's one of my favorite things ever. Now, I have a few things that you really need to know. What do you do if you can't make it? We get it like, there's a major traffic jam. I'm going to be an hour late, or I woke up sick, or whatever. So if you can't make it, let me know as soon as possible. You can email me, Jen at sanctuarychurch.com. If you have your leaders field guide, which we'll hand out later for you small group leaders, my name and number are in there. Just let me know. We have people who are able to sub, and so they will step in for you. What do you need to bring each evening? So to a certain extent, that depends on you. I suggest you bring a water bottle. We're going to have a water bottle filling station. I believe it's going to be back there. Bring a bag or a backpack, tote bag, something. You can bring a pen and your leader's field guide if you are given one. Not everyone needs a leader's field guide. If you're like an elementary craft person, Cecily's got all that covered. She's going to let you know what you need to do. So let's see. We went over check-in and check-out procedures. One more thing I really want you to know is Water Wednesday. So Wednesday is Water Day, and I'm so excited to bring this back. For elementary students, Pastor Jim has some water games planned, and we are going to have a water slide. So that's for elementary students. Now, those big, huge water slides make me really nervous for preschoolers. And so we are not doing a water slide for preschoolers. However, I have a really cool splash pad for them, as well as some little splash pools. So preschoolers are going to have fun too. So that day, just make sure you wear something that you can get wet in, including shoes. Now, you don't have to go down the water slide as a leader. However, if you want to go down the water slide as a leader, Pastor Jim, you better take video of that so I can see it, because I could be with preschool. Oh, me? No. And so that is, so those are the need to knows. Does anyone have any questions? Is there something that I haven't covered that you're like, I would like to know? There are snacks in the evening. They will be brought to you by some of our registration team. Will come by and we'll put snacks in your small group areas. And I don't even know what the snacks are. Pastor Mike is doing those for us. We are going to be eating them in here. Because we are eating them in here, we're not doing popsicles or anything that might stain the carpet. So, we're more like goldfish crackers, fruit snacks. Think that kind of a thing. Any more questions? Cleanups after. The rotation leaders will need to clean up. Leave your rows neat and tidy, like put your extra materials back in your bin. You will have a small group leaders bin that will have papers and pens and materials in it. Pastor Jim will go over with you more of what you can expect in your bin. That's where your small group activities will be, journal and prayer for preschool. I will go over with early childhood volunteers what will be in your bins. All right, so, as a junior volunteer, you can correct them if they don't listen. You go to the adult who has your group, and if they don't listen, then you will come, then you can either get me, yourself, a junior volunteer will come and get me or Pastor Jim, or you can let a security guard know, and they will come and get me or Pastor Jim, and we will take them. A lot of times, especially for the little ones, it's late. We expect a little bit of difficult behavior. We expect some tantrums and things. And a lot of times what works really well is just for me to go on a little walk with them just to cool off, to have a little change of air, and they usually come back better. So if you have a little one who is really difficult and is not listening, you just reach out to me or Pastor Jim, and we will happily help you handle that and give that little one a break. Any more? Go ahead, Irma. It's probably a typo, but you will get a book regardless, and so you will be assigned a small group to be with. Hmm. Right, and at this point with our numbers, we have enough so that we should have two adult. Most groups will have two adult leaders and a junior volunteer. Junior volunteer being high school or middle school student. Um, Now, we're hoping and praying for more students. We'd like our numbers to increase. I think I said, our goal was 100 elementary students and 50 preschoolers. We are not anywhere near that yet. We're at about 30, 35 elementary and 20-ish preschool. So we're hoping for more registrations. We're praying. So you guys can be inviting and letting people know, like, hey, come. It's going to be so much fun. Any more questions? They're coming in, checking in as early as 6. And at 6:30, we start the program. Yes, absolutely. If you are serving and you have kids, you can bring them. They will just stay with you. You can even do the initial check-in when you come in and check yourself in, highlight your name. But they will stay with you up until it is time to drop them with their leaders. And we do provide a meal for your kids as well. We expect that. So yeah, we'll do that. If a random person comes and wants to pick up a child, we don't let them. We don't let them. Yep, we don't let just anyone. Yep, we've got security measures in place. Yeah. Anything else? Hattie. Yes, Hattie. What's your question, Hattie? I don't know. You can ask her. You can ask her, okay? All right. She heard that we were inviting people, and she just wanted to make sure that she's going to invite people that she cares about. Good job, Hattie. All right. So, how to be an amazing Summer Blast leader. Come prepared. Look, if you have a leader's guide, go through it. Make sure that you read through. It goes over in more detail some of the things that I talked about tonight. It also has some really helpful tips, like what to do with your group if you have downtime. There's little fun games and discussion questions and things that you can do. At the back of your book, you will also see our themes for the day broken up. It'll be like our memory verse for the week, what the Bible stories are for each day, what the big idea is. So try to learn those things, particularly the memory verse and the key questions and the big ideas. We'll go over in preschool specifically what those are, but just make sure you familiarize yourself with that. If you're a small group leader, read through the journal and prayer or the small group section before you have kids, because when you have kids here, it's crazy and fun, and you're not going to have time to read it. So just go over it ahead of time. If you are a game leader, read those materials ahead of time. Be prepared. Same for craft. So another way to be an amazing Summer Blast leader is to go to your team huddles. So we're going to have those again. That's 15 minutes before we check kids in, 5:45. And there we're going to, maybe go over a little more specifically what to expect each day. And this is also a chance for you. I always ask in my team huddles, what went well yesterday? And Is there anything that didn't go well that you would like us to tweak, or you think that you could make things a little bit better? This is our, some of our best suggestions have actually come from those types of questions. So don't be afraid, to tell Pastor Jim or I, like, hey, I think this isn't working quite right. Maybe if we do this, we will definitely take it into consideration, especially as we're in a new facility. Have so much grace for us because we are learning. We've not done it here. So we're trying to figure things out. So if you have some suggestions to help things run more smoothly, please let us know. So another way to be an amazing small group leader is that you need to get to know your group. Learn your kids' names. Find out what their favorite color is, what grade they're in. Do they have any siblings who are at Summer Blast? Have they ever been to church before? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But we just want you to get to know them. They're really incredible kids. Some of these kids, you may be the first person that they've ever experienced at church. And so you have the opportunity to share the love of Christ with a kid who's maybe never heard about it before. So get to know them and see them as an individual. All right, another way to be an amazing Summer Blast leader is participate. Participate in the dance and worship. Like if you stand here like this and the kids are on stage like going crazy and dancing, what is your group of fourth graders going to do? They're going to look at you and they're going to be, right? So we want you to participate too. Dance, do the hand motions. You might feel like you look silly, but I'll let you in on a little secret. I do Zumba. I'm a terrible dancer. I look silly all the time, but it's so much fun, and that's the same with Summer Blast. You might be a terrible dancer, but it's so much fun, so just let go and have fun with your kids. All right, so have fun with your kids. That's the other thing, enjoy them, celebrate when they're afraid to go down that big water slide and then they do it, or when they look like they're stumped and they're trying so hard to memorize that verse and they just can't get it and then they finally spit the whole thing out. Have fun with them, enjoy them, celebrate them. Another way to be an amazing Summer Blast leader is to be a living, breathing example of Jesus. So some of our little ones are going to be difficult. I know this because I can be difficult too. And children are not any different, especially when you're pushing close to bedtime. Be kind, be patient, be loving, be Jesus to these children. And this is the last thing that you need to know to be an amazing Summer Blast leader is pray for these kids. Pray for the kids who have signed up. Pray for the kids who haven't signed up yet. Because God wants to do amazing things in their lives. So start praying now that God would start working, that he would start planting those seeds, that he would make their ears ready to hear the good news of Jesus. And start praying for people, too, to be open to your invitations to Summer Blast. All right, so we are done for the moment with my portion. I'm going to invite Cecily up here as our craft director. And she's going to go over a little bit of info about crafts. You don't have to. You can go on the floor if you want to.
All right, friends. So as long as I've been with Sanctuary, or as long as Sanctuary has done a Summer Blast, I have been the craft rotation leader for elementary. So I got some experience. So these are just my few tips that I request of small group leaders and the assistants that come into the craft room. We will be in the MPR for craft. That's the building for craft rotation. You want a sneak peek of the crafts? These are the fun takeaways that they get. Day one, it's a water bottle sling, like a holder, water bottle holder. They'll craft that. Anyone who is here today tortured along with us to create these. It's called a nature frame. This is actually day 3. I'm out of order, but this is day 3. They'll get to decorate with nature items. And then the last one, I grabbed the wrong page, is marshmallow shooters. Marshmallow shooters. And we'll have targets for them to aim at and cups to knock down and whatnot for that. So those are the fun little crafts that we'll be doing. So my little tips, my little asks of you guys is to stay with your small groups, even through the rotations. That's not the time to excuse them to me and my leaders and socialize. Stay with your group, work with your group, help your team. Like Jen said, get to know your kids. And doing the rotations is another great way to know your kids. Each craft at the tables will be a paper. Sorry, I am not organized. Like this. They'll be at the tables for leaders to reference. This bottom portion that says what to say, that's the kind of conversation starters that you guys can have with your kids, even during craft. It's going to point them to the bottom line, the key question, the things that they're hearing for the whole day. There are even pointers during our craft that you guys can help drive that conversation of whatever the bottom line may be. Day one is love one another. So there's going to be a way to conversate and bring that, wrap it around to bring Jesus into even crafts, right? And so stay with your kids, work with them, help them. We need help. Some of them are a little bit fiddly and complicated, so our younger kids may struggle, so just be available. And then my other tip is we might not have enough supplies for leaders to do the craft as well. So if there is, well, but I want you to be available for the kids and not focused on your own craft, right? So crafts are for the kids. If there's spares, you could take a craft home and do a craft at home. But I love it. I love being the craft leader. I do it for Sundays. I'm the craft coordinator for Sundays. I love that I do this job, and I think it's the takeaway that they get to go home with from VBS. Yes, they learn about Jesus. Yes, they have songs and dance and all the fun, all the games, and they get water day and sweaty. But I have a passion for the crafts, and I think the kids love it. So I can't wait to be with you guys through the week. And Meg, question? Yes, you in the black. Yes. I have marshmallows. Sanctuary can afford marshmallows to go with their marshmallow shooters. We will have marshmallows. You will be, and I'm like I said, I'm going to put up targets that they can kind of aim at because it'll be done fairly quickly. That craft will be done fairly quickly, but I think they'll have fun knocking down cups and aiming at targets and playing with it for that remaining time. Yes, Douglas. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, they're going to put it together. And that's one it'll need some help, stretching the balloon over the cup, putting tape around the balloon to hold it. You'll get the steps. You'll get the steps the day of, but we'll need the help. Logan, do you have a question? He's excited about the marshmallow shooter. All right, I can't wait to work with you guys. I'm looking forward to next week. I love it.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move into breakout groups. So if you saw your group assignments, I think your Summer Blast assignments. So if you are on the security team or the registration team only, your portion of the night is done and you are free to go home. Thank you very much for hanging with us and learning about Summer Blast. If you are in any of the other categories, then we are going to move into breakout sessions. Preschool volunteers, you in a minute are going to go with me, and we're going to go to the preschool room. You can sit on a little chair. You can sit on the floor. I won't be that long, so hopefully you won't be in there too long. If you are an elementary volunteer, craft games or whatever, you are going to stay in here. I'm going to introduce Pastor Jim and have him come up here. And Pastor Jim is overseeing our elementary for Summer Blast, and I'm going to have him pray for us as we move into breakouts.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for, first of all that's been shared tonight. Thank you for all the leaders that are here. Lord, I ask that you would open our hearts and begin to pour out your spirit on us, too, as we enter into this preparation for next week, but also for next week. May we hear what your spirit wants us to do. May this time be spirit-led as we care for the kids and lead the kids through a great Summer Blast. May we have fun in doing it. May we be great examples. And we'll thank you for the privilege and honor in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm going to give out. So the field guys, Cecily, they're the same as the small group packets too? Are the field guides the same or are they different? Different colors? Okay. Made it easy. So let me go. So let me start with this. Just the teachers, Meg. Have you here as a teacher? I'm missing some of my teachers here tonight. I think Trudy's not here. Nick's not here. Christine, not here. Let's see. Jackie. Okay, Jackie. Yeah, I got you here, Jackie, and I got Gina. Is Gina here? Okay. So now all you guys get to be teachers. If you're not, be ready, just in case. And that's it. I think I'm going to give out the rest of these as, yeah. Almost everybody should really have a field guide, though. I don't know. Anyone? Yes, that kind of tells you what's going on here. So let me get the, Spencer's not here. Lindy? Yes. Leanne? Okay. All right. There you go. And Christina. All right, there you go. All right. Okay, just kind of going through what's going to happen really in our rotation. It's going to be really easy for us. So we have our game leaders back there, Mr. and Mrs. Adams. So they're going to be, when we go, as you're a part of the, even if you're the crafts, all the craft people get to be, probably hang out the whole time together. So if you're not in the craft portion, you're going to, as a teacher, you'll go in and help out as well. So the kids are going to be flooded. We probably won't be, we have so many helping out, which is good. We're probably almost as many leaders as we do kids right now. I liked, when I ran VBSs, I had registration all week. We did 5-day VBSs, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to encourage kids and give them extra prizes. They bring somebody the next day. And I wanted to do that, and I may have to do that behind everyone's back just to do it, just from elementary, because I love to have that. Because we teach them also in that way to also go out like Jesus did, make disciples and invite people to do that. And the same thing is going to be during our games rotation, because even with 30 kids, our games leaders are going to be tired. But what we want to do is when we get to the game times is we want to make sure whatever they are, that you're having fun too. You're showing that you're having fun. You're cheering the kids on too. So even on water day, I'm encouraging you, like she said, to get wet, but I'm encouraging you to go down the slide. I'll get the picture of you going down the slide. I'm going to get the pictures. Somebody's got to take the pictures. Someone's got to take the pictures. I will have the pictures. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? If you go to man camp, you see, I'm in all the things. If Josh is not shooting me, I have the injuries to prove it, Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Here's the thing, and again, we're missing a number of our teachers here tonight, but some of you guys, I may have to recruit to be teachers. Here's the easy thing. You got a volunteer teacher already. Thank you for raising your hand. So, even our assistants, be ready. Right now, you're the teachers. But, so, when the first night is always crazy. And so we don't know, if you look, you're going to get a time. I don't know if they put the time, if the time slots are in there. Is there? So we kind of figured out what kind of time it's going to take. And it's close to, because crafts is on a 20-minute rotation, a lot of these are on 20-minute rotations, but what gets left out is the final group. And that's our final small group rotation. They're down to like 8 minutes. And so what's going to happen as we go along, we're going to actually try it the first night, see if I can get through the opening session a lot longer. What takes the opening session long is that we have a video. We also have a teaching time. And what I do in the teaching time is to make sure the kids get the lesson. We want the kids really to learn the lesson. You know, Summer Blast and every vacation Bible school is fun, but we want them to go away with something. And so that's why, to me, that last section is so important, because that's when you ask questions. You find out if the kids remember. We want to have some good prizes for them and such, like, so that they can participate. I see what happens when I'm doing children's church on Sunday mornings. I'm trying to motivate the kids to learn the lessons, to learn the books of the Bible, learn things like that. So that's why this is so important. And I'm going to try to make sure that I can maybe take a little less time, because what will happen is I'll teach the lesson, our video should reinforce the lesson, and then we go through all of our fun time, crafts and games and things like that. And if I remember being a kid, the lesson goes along with the crafts and the games. By the time I've come down the slide, it's all washed away. You know, so we want to get back into that and that's why I want some special time during that time to try to get that done. There's one more thing I wanted to say. That's real important. Like Jen said, take some time and look at the field guide if you have it. And if you didn't get one, I want to make sure just at the end I'll give you one, just because we can actually make some more if we need them. Yes. Right. Well, you have them, in order to share with them, but while they're here the whole time, you're interacting with them. There's even an exercise that we came up with that I don't think we're going to get to do at the end of it. It's a prayer we want them to write out at the end. Yes, and first of all, you come to Summer Blast, kids are on writing vacation. In school, we don't do much writing anymore anyway. It's either computer time and like that. I was surprised when my kids at the school where I'm at came to have me sign a lot of them have me come and sign their yearbooks. And I wrote in the yearbooks, and they're like, I don't understand. What does that say, Mr. Willard? They do not, they don't know handwriting. I don't teach that anymore. So this time, when you go have them write a prayer, I can see that being the whole 8 minutes. That's the last of things I want them to do. So, like I said, we're down to 8 minutes. I'm going to try to squeeze to where you get up to 10, 12 minutes to do. And what we'll do at that time is we'll take it right up to the time, because we're going to be right in here. So what my recommendation is, if we can get the small groups close to the areas where we'll meet in here, that way when we start that last portion at the end where she's doing the skits and things like that, the only thing you have to do is have some kind of game where you maybe challenge them to immediately be quiet and get ready, because we want to get them to learn that as much as possible.
Crafts. And so I just can you tell me the verse every time? Like we were standing in line, waiting for them to do their turn. That's the only way I could think of trying to teach them while we were standing in line, waiting for them to do their turn, throwing the ball into whatever basket thing we were doing in games. I don't know. Just trying to find a way to interact.
Maybe there's a creative way we can do it all the way through. The key for us, for the extra time, though, is going to be our rotation between transition between here and the games and things like that. And I gave 5 minutes because we can get them in line, and get them over there. The faster we get there, the more time we have.
I like making it a game.
Yeah, I don't know how.
They feed off that competition. So.
You can tell they get a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not for boys against the girls. I'm
No.
just infuriates me.
It was just a, it was a big
You're no
thing.
fun.
That's a big thing.
Just kidding, just
It was
kidding.
not a thing Rachel did.
Yeah.
That was Pastor Andrew.
Yeah.
But I will
I
say,
think the reason why is because, especially how it used to be, that was always a competition. Even today, in middle school right now, I have girls in middle school come to me and say, we want a girls flag football team, all girls, and we're better than the boys.
yes.
And a lot of them are taller than the boys, they're looking down at the boys. I have some of them race some, my football players, they can race it, and they're like, okay, and they're looking back at them. Or the guys, or the boys are afraid to race him because they don't have their special tennis shoes on, or they're in jeans, and I'm like, that was never a deal before when I was growing up. Here. So, yes, you won't. That's right. That's right. So I think that's where that came from. So, yeah, so does anyone have any questions so far? We're pretty much done. You're going, Jackie. No.
So when do we get a schedule that says what we go this, to the multipurpose room for the craft at what time? Does each group go rotate through?
So what's going to happen? That's a good question. So what's going to happen? We will have. It's going to be really easy because the way they set the rotation up this year is we have our big group time, and then we all go to a rotation where part of the group is in crafts. So we'll say this group is in crafts and this group is in games, and then we switch. And so that's kind of an easy rotation. I'll be kind of playing with time, so trying to steal time both from my section and the other section, so we have enough time at the end, a few extra minutes to be able to go through what we're going to go through. Probably going to try to do something up front, which might take the, I was thinking about what Miss Rachel said too about the memory verse. Just trying to maybe add that to the large group time. It's just going to be hard because 2 hours is not really a long time.
What about with Miss Rachel's suggestion that each group have a memory verse?
I would.
Otherwise they can-
The hard part is, I was thinking about that. How can we do it if we come up with a creative way to do it? Because we only have really the rotation time to teach it between here and the games, and
If we know the memory verses now, we can get some cards, and whoever has nice writing that's legible, we can write it out now.
so that's what I thought we had
Early
the.
enough and have it ready for the kids. Maybe on some cool camp cards,
I thought we had.
or what the big picture is. I don't know.
No, we had a lesson. I'm sorry. I thought that may
Could
be
there
in
be
here.
just something that while they're standing in line, like most games usually is something that requires you to stand in line and wait your turn. And while they're waiting their turn, they can practice the verse.
So for games, you will get on the night of, we had printed out your games, your like lake race and sponge relay. There is a paper like this, just like for crafts, and it will have your, this is gonna be repeated on every activity, because it's the key question is what they're taking away. This is a day 2 thing, so it's forgive one another. Day 1 is love one another. Day 3 is serve one another, or pray for one another. Pray for one another. Sorry, it's day 3. Anyways, there'll be a game, one labeled, lake race, and it'll have the supplies you need, but you don't have to worry about that, but it'll kind of tell you how the game goes, and it'll tell you what to say. So you'll get that on the night of. As far as games, when you get to the craft rotation, I'll have these for you in the room at your table. So again, it's going to have all your basic truths. I should treat others the way I want to be treated, forgive one another, and then it'll have your what to say thing. For your small group time and that's going to be what Jim gives you.
Yeah, where's that box? The box. I thought those were I was gonna have.
Yeah.
The box with all those in there because I ran some off. I thought they were going to be in here. But I can give those to you tonight if you just hang out at the end. I can make sure I have, so, because in that it'll have actually I want to share the overview from the lesson that I'll be teaching from. I don't actually use the script that they have, but I have that. It looks, those of you who help me teach, and I'd love to grab a couple more of you guys to help me teach on Sunday mornings there, we give out, it's just like the thing that we give out. Miss Meg is probably really familiar with it on Sundays, things we hand out. And no, we have there's a sheet that gives the memory verse for the week, the theme. Yeah, it's just like that. It's on the side of it, so I'll have the memory verse, and it can give you some time to put something together. Maybe something that can, but most of the games that we have, I was thinking about the Water Day games, they're relay games, so everybody's in, going pretty hard for most of these games. There's not really much time to memorize for the memory verse, so.
How many rotations is it a day for the games? Like for instance, like as a leader, like there's 2 games I see on each day. How
So
many groups are we
probably what we're going to end up probably doing is we're going to probably break us up into 3 groups right now. So one group for one game, one group for the other game, and then the craft. So that's kind of how it's looking right there. What's that?
So there'll be at least a couple of rotations.
Yes. And, or what we will probably do is, so what will happen is I'll have one group, really a big group going to the game group, and then another group going to crafts. I know she said crafts are 20 minutes, so you have 20 minutes. And so the groups within the games will rotate, and then the whole group rotates over the crafts. So I gave her then the game one. No, there's another one.
Just for the
Games. Yeah, so I just ran copies of my,
schedule.
no, it's not the schedule. Remember when you made that? I'll find it at the end. I don't know what is the box still open? 'Cause I put copies
Yes,
in
it's
the box.
gonna be in one of them, yes. I don't
The
know
big
which
box.
building.
The big box that
It got empty today, so I don't know where.
Okay. So I'll make sure you have that. If we wanted, maybe I'll make arrangements for somebody, if you want to stop by on Sunday, if you're able, want to see what the memory verse is going to be, you can stop by Sunday in the children's area. I'll have somebody leave a copy for anybody that wants to get one. Miss Meg will be teaching over there, so I might leave one with her, so yeah, because I will be gone this weekend. So, any other questions? All right. Well, I'm going to send you home then. If you want to get a leader's guide, I'll give you a leader guide. We'll make some more up for everyone else. If you didn't get one, who else would want a leader's guide? All right. Well, bless you. Thank you guys all for helping. And I will, Lord willing, we'll see you on Monday. Tuesday. Some of us will be here on Monday. There's still some cleaning up we have to do, but Tuesday. I'll be here Monday, but Tuesday.